Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above the Bar podcast, where each week we belly up to the bar with a new guest, find out what they do, who they are, and what makes them great. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Alrighty, folks, welcome back to the Above the Bar podcast. It's your host, Sean. We have bellied up today. We are talking about one of my favorite subjects. And if you know me and you know my show, you know the fact that every time that we talk about anything that has anything, excuse me, to do with the paranormal, my equipment's going to go ahead and shit the bed. So, in excellent and great form, my screen to my left is no longer working. So, for those of you that are joining us on Instagram, I won't be able to really see what's going on here. I actually have to recreate my entire Instagram logon. So, and I really expected that our guest would have known this because he's a psychic, he's a medium. He should have been able to already tell me what was going to happen. So, joining us from parts unknown, it's Chris Garcia, Chris the Psychic. Get a little cheers there and everything, Chris. So, what's going on, brother?
I'm glad to be on. It's an honor as always. I always have a good time. Just doing just different stuff. By the way, I'm from San Antonio.
I can tell you stories about when I was in San Antonio in the Marine Corps, just passing through. That's an interesting city all in of itself. But we'll get to all those things if we make some hard left turns here in a moment. But as we always say, we got to pay the bills around this place. So we're going to do that here real quick. So let's start with right over my right shoulder. We got the big sign for Sticker and a Cause. If you got something you're supporting, something you believe in, maybe you got your own psychic investigation, paranormal investigation. You do readings or whatever it is you do, and you've got a sticker. You can reach out to me on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. Our website is the Above the Bar Podcast at or abovethebarpodcast.com, and our website is or email is at gmail.com. Reach out, let me know what you got going on. We'll tell you all about it. You send me a sticker and I put it on the big board over my right shoulder for Sticker and a Cause. Now we also got to pay some bills. Let's see, Chris, do you know who our sponsor is? Let's see. I know you've been to everything. Oh my goodness. I'm trying to use his psychic powers that he could do this all for me, but I guess I'll go ahead. Our sponsors are Budget Blinds of East Greenbush and Budget Blinds of Hudson and Coxsackie, New York. They are your largest window treatment company in the United States, and they are international. Reach out to them and let them know that you're there to belly up to the bar. They're going to take care of you for at least a 15% discount off your entire order. And for the month of August, they're giving 25% off of all drapery orders. That's Budget Blinds of East Greenbush and Budget Blinds of Hudson and Coxsackie, New York. All right, Chris. All of that stuff is done. Let me see if I can fix this. I gotta edit. It says I'm live on. How do I fix that? See, this is horrible. It tells me I'm live right now on Instagram, but if I am, I got to redo this. So, all right, Chris, we're going to remove Instagram, and then we're going to put Instagram back on. So, Chris, I know you said we were talking about this beforehand. You typically are doing a lot of readings, a lot of that kind of stuff when you come on the shows. But I got to be honest with you, brother. We can do that, and if folks want some of that kind of stuff, you can explain to me how you can do it online. I think that's a pretty unique situation to be able to do readings and things of that nature online. But let's start at the beginning. How long have you understood that everything from, and we're going to talk about this reading aura thing here in a minute, because I find that very, very interesting. But how long have you known, I got a gift or I got something going on here?
I was like 5 when I noticed it. It runs in my family. Like my grandma had it, my mom had it, and it's just been a gift that I've had since I was young. When I started really helping people, I guess you could say when it was like more outside of the family, where it was back taboo, it was like just keep everything in the family. But when I started helping people, it was like in middle school. So it was like more of just helping people there, and then people were like, "Oh, there comes the witch," because back
Oh,
for the
really?
psychic was, yeah, that's what they labeled me as in high school. It started from middle school, went to high school, and people just were like, "Well, we know who you are," and I'm like, I don't even know how they knew who I was. I guess could feel my energy, I guess. So I started helping people, like not outside of social media, because Facebook's been around for a long time, and TikTok and all these other platforms that we have now. But as far as like just local and everything else, it was like when I was in middle school, and then started helping people in high school
Now,
and
hold on a
stuff
second.
like
Let me
that.
pause you for a second, Chris. When you say helping people, like define what that means.
Well, it was like whenever they would ask me questions, I guess they knew who I was. They would say, "Well, do you have a message for me? But can you tell me something about my house? Stuff, little minor things like that." They were, I guess, testing me, trying to figure me out. And at
Uh,
that time, I was like, well, I would go to people's houses and I say, "Oh yeah, I see somebody look like this," and I would get a description. They're like, "Oh, that was my uncle," blah blah blah. But that's how I started doing things. Well, I wasn't doing cards at that time. It was just more of the medium part of me, you know, feeling stuff and seeing stuff in the corner, Native Americans, whatever spirits that were around them, loved ones, ancestors. I saw a little bit of everything. Then when it came out to Facebook, I've been on Facebook since it started. Um, but I started helping people and then just branching my name out. The only thing I had to my name was owning a business card.
that
And
was
then
it.
from business cards, yeah, that's all I had. Just business card, cell phone. Um, and then from there, it's branched out to where now I have different ways of advertising. If you look through my pictures, I send people packages like matches, pins. I got new T-shirts. I got one right here next to me, but it's within distance. But I started using different ways to advertise myself and other ways. But the first thing was the business card. That was my major thing. And I'm very old fashioned. Some people like don't even have business cards anymore. See, this is like my first one of them. This is my
Nice.
major one. So that's
You
one
got to
of
go
them.
full
But
John Constantine with the business cards. Come on now. Hold on, Chris. Like, hold on. You got to go full John Constantine with the business cards, where it's just like a black card, and and it just says like your name, and it's like they have to realize like we've got to contact you. Like just it just
mm,
says your name, nothing else.
mm,
I think that's what we need. We got
mm,
to figure this out because then you
yeah,
become way too,
yeah.
you know.
But yeah, and then after that, recently, I don't even know how long TikTok's been out. I'm trying. I have to look back at my bio. I've been more on TikTok than Facebook now, but I'm kind of making it to where I fluctuate. The only time I'm on doing shows is like on Facebook, like for you and stuff like that. But then from there, it came to people started contacting me for missing people,
Oh,
and then
really?
it just progressed. And then from there, it started going to the paranormal, doing walkthroughs, physical walkthroughs, and then sometimes I could even do walkthroughs on live. They would show
Hold on.
me their house, and I would tell them what room that I felt active in. If I couldn't physically be there, it was always like I would remote view in my head and know what room to go in, what the person was, what they looked like. So if I couldn't be there locally and tell you what was the cause of your haunting, just an example, then I would be able to tell you what's in your house, who died, past history of your home. I mean, it's been
That's
just
wild.
an
Because
interesting.
see, that's wild to me because I would think that such that would because I've we've all probably seen like the shows where like somebody calls in and they do it, and I guess I don't understand how, without being present with somebody's energy and somebody's feel, how that would work. And look, folks, there's a lot of people watching. If you're interested, you have a question for Chris, don't hesitate. Put it in the chat. We'll ask your questions of how this all works. But how do you affect somebody's energy if they're not physically there with you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, how
Like
can you like
I know, like how can I pick up on it? Is that what you're asking?
right? Like, how are you picking up on this if they're
I
not
can.
not
That's
there?
something that remains unknown. Like that's the whole point. Being gifted and being psychic medium, it analyzes, and it's weird. Like I even wonder at times. I'm like, how the hell did I pick that up? You know? And then they would give me validation. And like, oh shit, I had a someone that died at on this bed, and their name blah blah blah, and I would
Wow,
be able to pick it up, and they wouldn't even have to tell me anything of their history of their house. And they're like, how do you do it? And I'm like, honestly,
that's wow.
Sean, I don't have an answer for that. It's just part of the gift, I guess.
Yeah,
But
to me
as but
that's
when
so
I was
wild.
but when I was young, at the times I was like, I wouldn't tell the people directly, but in the back of my head, I was like, Chris, can you tell me, you know, just a random question? Can you tell me something about me? And I would say it would just tap into that person's energy, be able to pick up that depending on what I would see at the time, and then I would just tell them. And then when I gave them the answer, they're like stunned and they're like, holy crap, you just said something that some other psychic said. And I've never talked to you before. And in the back of my head, I ain't gonna lie to you, Sean. In the back of my head, I had even doubts, even when I was starting off. In my head, I was like, oh, that was just a lucky random guess. That's the first thing that, as a skeptic being psychic, I had the skeptic in myself because I didn't have that ego. I wanted to be just very accurate, blunt, straightforward, and then I would like to get the validations from other people, and then they would say, well, that is true. So when they gave me more validation, it lifted up my confidence because when I first started, it was all like, in the back of my head, I wouldn't tell them, but then I was like, that's a lucky guess. They're just probably just telling me, yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're right. But as time went on, they're like, "Oh, you're dead on. I'm serious. I'm not joking." So
Well, I
so
got to
it
thank
just
you already,
came up.
Chris. I got to thank you already because through your gifts, I have my other monitor back. So I feel like I can do my job much better now. So I thank you already. But here, okay. So all right, I got to roll you back. So you're going through high school. People are talking to you. They're asking you questions, and I know we're going to kind of roll back for a second because we kind of got off track. But people are asking you questions. I am going to ask you something that I find interesting. Knowing what you have the ability to do. And folks, if you're joining us again, make sure you're liking, sharing. If you're interested in what Chris has got going on, I forgot to run the banner. That's how distracted I am right now. It's Psychic 28 on TikTok. You can look him up. You can see what he's got going on. And please take a moment, hit that like, share, and all those things. It makes a difference for us. But so you knew what you had the ability to do. What I'm curious of though is, did you? And I have no other way of asking this, Chris. Did you ever use it just to be a dick to somebody? And what I mean by that, like somebody was like somebody was like, "Is my grandmother here?" And you're like, "Nope, nope, no grandma." And really, she's like standing right there, being like, "Mijo, mijo," and you're like, "Nope, no grandma on this one." Nope. Like, did you
No,
ever like? I
see
gotta
that's the
ask.
fun. Yeah, there's but people. I guess I've been blessed to have people that have not been mean to me. I guess you could say.
Okay, fair enough.
Um. So, but there was people that there's times where they'll ask me questions, and this is the thing that in the past used to happen. Chris, is that person coming back? And this was the first man. I'm like, I felt it. I don't. I said no. I don't feel anything. And then as the years going by, Chris, did that, do you feel that person coming back? And they do this on TikTok to me sometimes. And
When
I'm
they say
like,
coming back, what do you mean? What do you mean by is this person coming back?
like if they say, like if they want to know if that person's gonna come into their love life, because that's what I've been getting.
Oh, okay.
Uh, so they're like, and then I told them, I said, didn't I already talk to you already? And then, not to be mean, I'll just tell them no. That my answer is not gonna change unless I see something a little different. Then I'll tell you, yes, I see that maybe if you put more work into it, then I can see a possibility. But I don't see him, and then they're like, well, what do you feel? And I don't know if I can cuss on here because I'm not. This is your show, so I'm not gonna cuss. But
You can no, you can cuss.
um,
Absolutely, you can cuss.
I didn't
Because
know. But sometimes it would be like he's fucking, or he's doing some other freaking chick. You know, they're like, well, what? They're like, he's with another girl. They're like, realize, yeah, he's cheating on you with another damn girl. And then that's when I would get a little more very direct, and I tell them, you know what? Why are you even with this asshole?
you go from psychic to therapist all in one
Yes,
swoop. Huh?
yes, all at once. And it's there's times where I've done that. It's very rare you'll see me do that, but I try to keep it on TikTok. You can't be cussing on there, but there was times where I did, and I got in trouble for it. But I try to keep
Over
it
there you can.
professional.
Over here you can because this is a different platform. Um, I need Chris. I need you to use what your gifts for a moment and just go ahead and say, as I put up this person, that they just aren't as great of a cousin as I am. Just go ahead and tell them, like you using your gifts, that I'm way better of a cousin than they are. Can you let them know that? That's my cousin.
That you're better.
That's a harasser. So so you're moving forward with this. You get out of high school. Any college for you? Anything like that?
Mm, I wish I
So
did, but I just didn't. So I just went right into
she
you're
said, "Oh."
full of shit.
But I was curious because I was thinking of like at what point as you're going through this and you're going through your whatever career path you're taking, does it go from, you know what, this is who I am, this is my calling, like because I mean you've got some stuff in there in your background where you mentioned about being a shaman and all these different items. I mean, I think in personally, I just as much as I keep learning about this world, I always think like, well, this person is a medium. This person does this. This person does that. But you've got kind of a full gambit of things for you that you've been involved in. Where do you go from like, okay, I'm going full bore and I'm going to get into as much of it as I can.
Yes. Yeah, and that's what I do because there could be love psychic, love mediums, and at time I would just do like psychic, yes, no questions and stuff like that. But as time like you said, this was my calling, you know, there was times where I would just even test myself. There was one time I was had a blindfold and I did a walkthrough. It was on Facebook. This was goes many, many years ago. And I said, just go outside. I can't see. I described her next friend that I don't talk to no more. I described her barn across the street. I described a cemetery. And remind me, and let me tell you, I had a thing. You know how, like, when you go to sleep and you have those things over your eyes? I
Hmm.
couldn't see anything. But she was on live and she rotated the camera and she said, and I couldn't hear her voice. She was, don't tell him anything. I said, and I told them, the people that were in the comments, I said, since she's the only one that can hear me, I can hear her expressions. So I told her everything I felt, and then I go, am I done? She goes, yes, take off the blindfold. So as I take off the blindfold, right across, there was a red
Wow.
barn. She rotated the camera the other way. She goes, look at that. There's a cemetery right across the street. She goes, you've never seen my house. You've never been in my backyard. We've only talked on Messenger. How did you know that? I don't
So
know. And then I even, yeah, so it was, there's
now
times where I
that's
tested myself. It was,
now that's what is that? That's where like the CIA has used that one. What is that called? Where you can kind of see places but not be there. What is that called?
Well, there's a can be remote viewing, or if you
Remote
want to go
viewing.
to the location, or you can go to astral projecting, which I've done that before. That's a whole nother subject too. I never put that in the bio, but I've astral projected before to people as well. I've even had times where I'm not even shitting you. I feel like I was conjured maybe twice
Now, what
in the
do you mean by
spiritual
you
room
felt like you were? What is
where
that?
like where like you know how like in the movies they have the say there's witches, right, and they had all these white candles around.
Right.
They talk to God, they talk to the source. Do you have anybody available at this time while we light these candles? God assigns someone and gets a like a like a
Like a
call,
connection.
411 kind of call connection, connected to me in my sleep and said, "These people need you." Whew, went right to them. And when I remember one time, I am not joking, I could see myself out of my body, but I wasn't really physically there. I was here asleep when this was happening to me. I was asleep, but I guess a part of me went to their house and I look around and I'm like, where the hell am I at? There was candles around me, white candles, and I remember this very well. I was just like rubbing my eyes and I thought, am I freaking dreaming or what? So I came out of the little circle, the what do you call the circle?
Right. Right.
So then I said, yeah, what can I help you with? And they were like, well, we called God and we had a direct line, like a 411 thing. I said, okay. So I said, I take it here that you needed a psychic and God reached out to me and said, astral project like this by location without an address.
So how are you
Shoom, I was there.
communicating? But in a situation like that, are you communicating through like a
I
Ouija
don't, I,
board?
I don't, no, I wasn't using the Ouija board. And that's one thing I don't do. I'm gonna touch a Ouija board. I've been tempted, but I haven't touched one. But when I did that, I went into the house. I described it. I told them what was in their house, and then I told them I went down the hallway. And every time I went down the hallway, the lights would only had motion. So the light would, if you walked, the light would turn on, boop, and then you pass another light, boop, turn off. So it was like one of those lights that if you walked,
Oh, like a yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
motion. You know what I'm saying, right? So
Yeah.
I'm doing that. So I did that, and I walked all around the house. Then I went to the backyard, the fence, and then first down the street, turn to right. There's a baseball field. Okay, so I
So
told
this
them
was
everything.
elaborate. Like
But
this wasn't.
this was like I was doing my work, spiritual work, while I was asleep.
That's
Okay,
wild.
I was asleep, but I can remember everything I was doing. And then I said, "What is this car with a? It looks like a Cadillac passing by." Oh, that's my ex-husband. He won't leave me alone. I said, well, this is what you do so he can leave you alone. So I told her what I did. She was like, wow. So then I started feeling like a part of me, even though I was doing all this work, I felt a part of me was like trying to wake up from this astral
Whatever you're
projecting sleep.
right.
I did everything as quick as I could. I said, this is what I'm feeling. You need to do this. You have a lot of spirits here. You need to protect this space. You need to do this and do this. And I said, if you need anything, just call the source again, and I'll be back. Now get this, Sean. This is not a joke. There's no way in hell this could happen. Now this scared the hell out of me after this. So I came back into my body and I woke up and I was like, what the hell was that about? So weeks pass. This girl hits me up on this other app, which I can't remember the app, but she was a good friend of mine. And she said, I see that you're on this app and I just need help. So she looked at my picture and she goes, holy crap. you were in my house like about a week ago with a friend of mine. I said, say what? She goes, you were in my house. She goes, do you remember walking down the hallway and the lights flickered? I said, you got to be shitting me. She goes, I'm not shitting you. I said, please
Wow.
just tell me you're freaking playing with me. That I don't like to be played with. And she goes, no, Chris, I swear it was you and you were wearing this and this and this and this. And at the time, I remember what I was wearing, even though I didn't have. Because usually, when you're in a dream, you try to look at. Because I always look at everything I'm around. Some people have a tendency to see what they look like when they're astral projecting or remote viewing. Sometimes it's always good to look at a mirror, but for some reason, in that vision, that astral projecting, when I went to them, I didn't look at a mirror because there was no mirrors everywhere I was going. There was no mirrors. Maybe in the bathroom, but I never went into the bathroom, so I didn't see my reflection. And I said, are you sure you're talking to the right person? She goes, is your name Chris? I said, yes. Is your number start with the last two numbers? Yes. Do you have a clothing that wears this? And I said, yes. I said, okay, you're freaking the shit out of me. She goes, you just helped me. And I find out a week later, she goes, my husband, ex-boyfriend doesn't even show up driving by my neighborhood anymore. And I said, okay, now you're scaring me. And she goes, do you remember you telling me that down, you make a right, there's a baseball field? I said, no, you got to be joking. Because I kept
That's
trying to,
right. You were looking to find ways to debunk them contacting you.
yeah, trying to debunk the contact, but how we found each other, I can't
That's
explain it, dude. I can't explain it. But the thing is
no.
that before she contacted me, to me, everything was like very vivid. I remember everything to the detail. I remember the color of her house. I remember that she had the wood like around her property. She had wood to a privacy fence. I remember even that. And she
Wow.
said she even showed me when we had to connect live because I think she had FaceTime or some other thing. So when I said I don't believe you, I said I need to see this for myself. So she rotates the camera and there's a fence. She walks into the house, and this time we're on FaceTime. So we're looking. I'm looking down the
You can
hallway.
see
Boop,
now. You're
light
seeing
flickered.
all these.
I could see everything that I was actually doing a week before. That didn't happen very much, but she was only one person or two people I had an experience that I helped them in the spiritual world. But then later on, they contact me. How
And
does
Sean,
that work, Sean? I don't know. To this
that's
day, I
brother. That
that's two experiences that I cannot debunk because I tried it thinking that I
and
was
I
losing my
feel
mind, but no.
I like that you're willing to take the time and try to be like, is this legit? Like something's going on, or did I get into the peyote? What's going on here? Now, Lisa Marie wants to know, how do you handle situations if someone comes to you for a reading and they've already had multiple readings by other psychics or mediums? So basically, somebody's like, I didn't like what mom said. Let me see what dad says. I didn't like what dad said. Let me go ask grandpa. Like, is there a process where you're like, look, you've already gone through a bunch of them. Move on.
I would say I would always give them like a feedback. So I would talk to them and just tell them that this is what I'm feeling. And then if they want to ask for me, then you're gonna get me. Don't tell me what the other psychic said. Don't tell me the other medium said. And if
Oh,
it
so you don't
matches
shove them
up,
away. So you don't push them away like, hey,
I
you've already had
I
readings.
don't
Go
push
away.
you unless if they really need me for that type of work. Then I'll help them if they want to validate what the other psychics are picking up. Because then that means that those other psychic mediums, I don't know who they are. I'm my own person. If I'm picking up the same names or the same stuff, then all that stuff is legit. Now, if there's
Well,
something that I picked up a little bit more that the other psychics that didn't pick up, then I'm adding information to that case or to that situation.
it's like going to see a
So,
second doctor, getting a second opinion.
mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
So now, you mentioned the Ouija board that you don't mess with Ouija boards. You don't. It's too much of a. I guess in my mind, it sounds like it's too much of a conduit for you to where you're like, I'm already tapping into things. I don't need something like this. But is there anything so far where somebody's asked you, like, hey, Chris, and I'm still we still got to talk about the Aura thing because I believe in like 90% of the stuff you get behind, but the when people are like, I can read your aura. I'm like, so you're telling me you're walking around seeing, blue, green, purple mist coming off of people, but we can talk about that in a minute because that's the way TV and movies make it seem. But what I'm curious of is, have you ever had a situation where somebody's like, "Hey, we need, come to this house. We want to know what's going on here," or, "Hey, can you work with us on this?" And you're like, instantly the vibe is, "No, nope, not touching that. There's too much of something there."
Oh, well, recently I had maybe two people that were reaching out to me, and usually I don't turn anyone down, but there was one time when one of my friends looked at me because they know how sensitive I am, and then I'm gonna add a little something different. This is gonna even trip you out even more. Okay, I'm gonna answer your question, and I'm gonna go back, and you're gonna
Okay.
understand how sensitive I am even more than I was before. Yeah, I'm extremely sensitive now. I'll tell you why. Um, well, stuff like that I've had twice where, like, if without pictures, or they can send just pictures of the house or whatever, but without even physically seeing the house or without the location, I can see it in my mind. My guys will tell me, you ain't going. You're not going. There's no way in hell. I know you want to help, but you're not going. There was actually twice I had to turn that down. Usually I don't turn people down, but since I've been more sensitive, I am. And I'm going to tell you why. I've been going through a lot this coming year. Okay, I'm going to tell you a little personal stuff about me. I just lost my mom in January, recently. Okay, it's a whole different. I shut myself out for 3 months, didn't want to do anything. I just felt like everything just, my whole life changed. My whole life changed completely. And it has, to where now me helping other people, nobody was there to help me, but I had to fix myself. And I did. And I'm a lot better now than I was 3 months ago.
That's awesome.
I have noticed that since she has passed, I am like even more sensitive now. The visions have gotten very, very strong. The presence of spirits, I could just see them passing by. Even though I did see them, but I feel like they've shown more since she has crossed. Because my mom had that gift too. So when she crossed over, something was given to me from my mom.
You know what I was
Something that
going to
she
say
probably
though?
didn't.
You know what I was going to
What?
say? You tapped into a different emotional level. Not that I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
say that you anything, but it almost like you tapped into a different emotional level.
On an empathic level.
Yeah,
Yes.
Diane lost her
Yeah.
mom 2 years ago. Diane's a good friend of mine from church, so she definitely understands what you're going through there. That's wild, man. So you
And
really
it,
tapped into some
yes.
new stuff
So
there.
I've had some new stuff. Yes, and the activity has increased it to where I have a girlfriend too, along with it, because I think she's watching. But
You gonna pop up
the
so they
thing with
get
that too is that I believe my mom brought her to me.
that's
My
awesome.
mom brought my girlfriend to me. Yes, and it's just because my mom was on the 8th of January.
Okay.
Okay, she passed 2 days after her birth. I mean, not her birthday, but she had the stroke on the 10th. She passed away on the 19th. And since all this stuff has happened, I keep seeing a lot of eights, eights everywhere. I mean, eights,
Oh
because
wow.
my girlfriend's birthday is in August, so that's an eight. Her name has 8 letters in it, so it's like I'm getting sense from my mom too. So actually, Sean, it's all new to me. It's even more new to me. And you're right. I've gotten more sensitive on an empathic level to where sometimes I have to pull back and I kind of give myself and go outside and breathe because I'm like, yes, I had the gift, but now it's like tenfold now. So I'm like, so sometimes I have to like say,
Really
get
back
it
away
together,
from it.
because back away sometimes, and I'm like, I need to get it together and focus. And then there's times where I'll hear my mom says, you're gonna be fine. I know you miss me, but now I'm guiding you now.
That's awesome, bro.
This is so this is something new that it changed my life from a 360. It changed my life tremendously.
That's
So
awesome.
it's like now I'm having more activity to where now I hear voices more clear than I did before. I hear voices, but this is time where I've even heard my name. I
More
thought
clarified.
somebody was calling me. Yeah, to where I go in the room, to the living room, and there's nobody there.
Mm.
I'm like, what the hell's going on with me? Like, what the hell is going on? And then I'm hearing more things, even with my girlfriend's house too. And I'm like, she's like, there's nobody here. I said, I can hear somebody, and I can hear their voice. I can hear them conversating, and I don't even know who they are. She's like, she just looked at me. She's like, that is wicked. I said, yeah. So she's experiencing a lot of stuff with me.
Yeah.
So now it's like I'm like an open book, even twice as much. But there's times where like you told me, and even more now that since I've been open with everything I've recently, I'm very selective now. That if
About who
Chris,
you work
we need your assistance. If I get a yes, I'll do it because I have a lot more spiritual support from the other side. Because my grandma's already on the other side, my grandpa's on the other side, my mom's on the other side recently. So it's kind of like if they tell me no, I ain't doing it, no matter
with.
how much I'm going to
You're
help them.
building your
There's times,
squad. You're
yeah,
squadding up on the
yeah,
other side. Look, folks, if
yeah,
you're
and
interested in what Chris has got going on, make sure you're checking out his Psychic 28 on TikTok, seeing what he has. Now, I don't want to change subjects for a second here, but so if they catch you though, you've got your, I'm going to call it your spirit squad. So you got your spirit squad on the other side helping you out. If somebody came on to that, and caught your TikTok, do you have a set hour that you're doing your TikToks? Like, hey, every
no, I
Tuesday.
usually do. But yeah, there's times where I go on. Usually it's like lately it's been going like around 6, 7, sometimes even the latest was around, excuse me, around 9 is the latest, depending on what kind of the vibes I'm getting. So I go on there because
You
I
just
wasn't
feel
doing
it like,
TikTok
hey, I got to
really.
jump on here.
Yeah, I'll jump on and I'll just, and then there's times where I'll thinking, nobody's gonna come on, and then like Chris, we missed you, we haven't seen you, and there was
Oh,
some of them that have been following me on TikTok. They know about my mom, so they know that they're like, hey, we haven't seen you in weeks, and I told them I'm sorry. It's just I needed, like you said, I need to pull back for a while. Now I'm in a better spot. I'm in a better place. My mind is clear. I'm focused where I should be. I'm centered because before I wasn't centered because I was just all messed up. I'm grounded. My frequency is higher than it's been before. I listen and I pay attention to what my guys are telling me. But but I know as time goes on, I know there's gonna be people that are gonna need me, and I'm gonna be there to help them. But if it's like more of a demonic kind of thing,
yeah, you ain't trying to.
then that would be more of a demonologist because I know a few demonologists
Oh, so that's a real
that are
thing.
real close to me. hmm hmm And I have people that I talk to that if it's not my forte, then I refer them to them. But most of the time, people come to me if it's more like psychic medium stuff or missing paranormal. I can do most of the stuff. But if I think it's more malevolent to where I need work on it, then I'll be like, you know what? I'm sorry. I got to turn you down. But most of the times, some people just want me because they're like, I don't trust anybody else.
Well, that's
And I'm like,
well,
unless I
Diane
have
wants.
maybe a demonology. Yeah.
We got a couple of questions popping up here. So Diane says she was told she has a beautiful aura, and but wants to would like to know what color. So I doubt, obviously, because you can't see her, that you could be. But like, if she wanted to, like, how would you judge? Like, hey, I can go here and see this person. And I feel like I saw one time that there's people say there's a camera that takes aura pictures.
You can
How
do
would
that,
you
but
go
you have
about
to
that?
have like a good background. You have to have a good background to do it.
Like,
For
what's a
some
good background?
reason, with her cut, I think it's like more of a like a greenish.
Oh, like a green screen
It's
kind
got
of
a
thing
green
almost.
brand. It's got a being like a thing that you can hang on the wall, and then you can use that as a background. Sometimes you'll just see like the or on the side of your because it's like a layer. That's the best way to describe it. It's like a layer over your body. It's not like on your body, but it's over the body,
Okay.
even to your crown chakra, your third eye, your heart chakra, your throat chakra, your solar flex, sacred, and then your root chakra. They're all the aura goes aligned with your chakras.
Okay. So
So,
interesting. So she'd have to go find someone. Dave says he recently moved into his mother-in-law's house after she had a stroke, and my father-in-law passed away a few years ago, and believes he is reaching out to me, but through a strange way. It sounds like a cell phone, but there isn't one to be found. This has been confirmed by other people. What do you can you feel anything for Dave? Anything there?
uh, see, like what I'm hearing in that, I don't know why, but I keep getting like white noise. It sounds like I'm getting white noise in my head. It's like, but I can hear like I'm getting like a dial tone, and for some reason I don't know why, but I'm getting like an unknown, where it shows unknown on the phone. So I'm getting through that they're reaching out, but if he answers, there ain't gonna be nobody there. It's gonna be dead silent. So I do feel that, and then for some odd reason, I don't know too much about his situation, but I've never heard this before. But as I'm hearing the frequency, I'm hearing it like sound like blah, 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 like it's almost like they're underwater.
Like a
I don't know
bubbling
if that
noise?
resonates with that person. And then with the person about the aura, I was
Mhm.
gonna say that I keep seeing like Skittle color, like more of a rainbow. So I'm thinking that whatever Diane is going through, her 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 auras are very very bright. Her spirit is very high, so her aura is like beautiful yellow, red. The basic color is blue. It's all I'm seeing like beautiful aura all around her. But I think that's part of her growth. And then around here, I keep seeing like more like a reddish harmony color, like not so much a dark red, but more of a pinkish. So I'm thinking that she's in tune and she has a lot of love.
Well, I
I
can
don't
tell
know if
you,
that
I've
makes
known
sense too.
it makes sense to me because I've known Diane for years. She used to actually watch one of my children growing when he was little. We've been friends at church forever, so all that makes sense to me. And Dave, you're full of. I'm going to tell you right now. I think Dave's full of shit, but he just said my father-in-law died because of respiratory failure. So the underwater thing, white noise, makes sense. Dave, don't be making stuff up on my show. That's just that's just creepy. But I don't want to hear that. And then Diane just said, "That's so funny. I don't have a favorite color. I always say I love all the colors of the rainbow." Yeah,
Getting chills on that one.
yeah. Listen to all of you. So here, all right. And then Lisa Marie, her Lisa, is this your question or is this one of those creepy dolls you have? Questions. She's got all those. Do you know Lisa? Have you met Lisa before?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I have
Okay.
talked to her. I haven't talked to her in a long time though, but
She's got
yeah.
those creepy dolls. She wants to know when you go out in public places like grocery stores and start becoming emotionally overwhelmed. How do you decipher if it's how you're feeling or it's just someone else's emotion in the area you're in? That's a good question. I like that. Like, how
That
do you
is a
figure
good
out like,
question because
am I just having
I can
anxiety from
take
being in a group?
when I can feel it like it's more of a people that when I go to the stores, I can tell what's mine and what's not mine. Because usually, like right now, I'm in a real good state of mind, and my mind is clear, and my heart and all my chakras are aligned. So more likely, if I go to the store, it's gonna be them or the person. Maybe
Gotcha.
it's like I'm feeling through somebody's like grieving, or somebody like broke up, or somebody got broken by their boyfriend, or stuff like that. So I can feel like if it's the energy from other people. And how do I difference between where it's coming from? I guess is when I'm close to the person. I don't mind all them, but I'm like, oh, I'm getting that vibe. That person is emotionally
Kind of charged.
just tired. Yeah, they're charged. And then I go to another person, they're just exhausted. And then after I get out of all that store, I'm just like, I'm like a sponge, so I have to somehow I need to release it.
Interesting.
I have to release it. Yeah.
Folks, we're getting close to closing the bar up here soon. Like I didn't even realize how fast this is going here. If you want to know what Chris has got going on, make sure you're checking out Psychic 28 on TikTok. He does. You just got to kind of pay attention. He'll let you know when he's coming on. He's doing things. He's a very approachable person. So, all right. Hi, Brittany. I know Brittany is your girlfriend because I can see her picture when I popped it up. So, um, let me ask this question. So, as I say, I think that most of it's real, and I don't buy into this like it's evil. It's the devil has given you a gift. Uh, oh, here we go. The better cousin here. You're not, Kathy. She's not the better cousin. I am. She's just old, like way older than me, like super way older than me. She says she has a strange connection to dragonflies about my dad. Is that weird? What like do you need clarification? I would need clarification on that. What do you mean?
Dragonflies to me are a symbol of, I would say look it up in totems. But to me, I don't think that's weird because I don't know why, but with a dragonfly, I don't really know too much about your story, but you don't have to tell me too much. But I keep seeing like the dragonfly like really close. Yeah, and usually they're like birds. They don't get that very close. They might wonder because they're always feeding like any other animal, but I see like very close. So if the dragonfly is like looking at you, it's like your dad's talking. He says, "Pay attention to me." So in other words, the dragonfly is trying to get your attention. So if comes to eye contact, he's talking to you. You need to
Because
listen.
they're staring into her glasses and they can see the
Mm-hmm.
future by looking into her glasses. And look, she said
Mm-hmm.
they do that. Look at that. I don't know. You all are full of shit. I don't buy none of it. Like now, y'all just are full of shit at this point. Uh, and Lisa wants to know. And finally, everybody's asked question. Lisa wants to know: do you have any advice for somebody who maybe they think like, "Hey, I've got something going on here," and I'm going to add to her question: is this a like you have to be born with it type of thing, or is it something that somebody could tap in and learn? Like if I said to myself, like, you know what, I think I could be a medium. Is there a way to like tap in and learn it? Or it's, hey, like you just had to be born with it and it just comes from there.
I think to me, from my perspective on being a psychic and what I've been through, um, I would say you have to be born with it is one way. Second way is that you have a near death experience and you're very, very close to death and you come out of it and then you see the world in a whole different way. Those are the two ways. Now, I'm not debunking that you cannot become psychic. It's just that you have to work. It's like a muscle. You have to work on it. Okay, it's gonna take time. It doesn't happen overnight. So you have to like be able to work on it and just let it grow and just move the muscle like the heartbeat of your heart. You have to
Okay.
mess with it and just test yourself. You just have to work on it. Now, to be as good as the natural gifted psychics, some people can come just talented and just start tapping into stuff. But most of the time, I feel that it's either born or near death experience. But like I said, I'm not debunking that you cannot be gifted.
Right.
Start just messing with cards and start reading. But it's just it doesn't just happen just like that. That
All
would
right.
need a lot of time and learning and trusting what you feel when you look at the cards.
All
Otherwise,
right.
you're
You
just looking
ready?
at the card and you're like, okay, yeah.
So we weren't going to do this. My wife's walking down the stairs right now. She just put on here, I want to be read now. And then I just told her to come downstairs. So when she comes down, I'm going to put her in my chair. I'm going to give her my headphones. I'm not going to tell you anything about her. I'm not going to tell you anything you need to know. Let's see if she makes it downstairs. While we're waiting on her to make her appearance. Okay, here she is. She's made her appearance. This is my wife, April. Let me take this off the screen. All right, you ready? Here we go.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this is left ear, right ear. So you get my earwax.
Oh,
Enjoy
really?
enjoy my earwax
You get my earwax.
behind you. Look, we'll get in the chair.
So,
You
but
can
go
be
ahead.
ready.
Go ahead. I'm gonna do
Oh
something real quick.
no,
So
this
go
is
ahead.
the first.
So
So
sit.
Hi.
what drew you? So what drew you
Roll
to me? Sorry, I just had to get the cards real
get the
quick.
camera.
So what drew you to me that you wanted to be read? Can you tell me what drew you to me before I go into anything?
Honestly, it's your shirt.
What about my shirt? The Spider-Man shirt? Oh,
The
okay.
Spider-Man. I'm like, oh my goodness, you're so cool.
Well, I like Spider-Man and some other characters, but let's see what it's
I do as
okay, what
well.
is your name? What is your name? What is your name, by the way?
April.
April. What is April? I need to know. What is April? I need to know. So, right off the bat, I get kind of like you're sensitive. um, I think a lot of people don't believe what you say. Some people just think that you're just exaggerating. That's what I feel. Okay. I'm shuffling as I'm talking to you because I'm getting your
Oh,
energy. So, okay. So, can't even see the page of. Damn, I need a flashlight because that for some reason that light's dimming. Where's the flashlight? Oh, I can't even see because I want to make sure I can get the card. Damn, I should have got the flashlight because I wasn't expecting it, but it's fine. Um,
sorry.
hold on. No, you're fine. And it's freaking dark here. I can't stand this. Okay, never mind. I got it. Okay. You have the upright card. It's the page of wands. You have inspiring ideas, discovery, limitless potential, free spirit, exploring, excitement, and freedom. So I feel like you want to experiment on doing different things. You've thought about it, but you're just kind of like hesitant. So I
Mhm.
feel like you just want to try different things. The Knight of Pentacles shows hard work, production, routine, conservative, responsible, which is you both are coming out now, just to let you know, because I got the male and female card.
Oh,
So both of you are very responsible. I feel that you rub off on each other, like he pushes you to work hard. Um,
absolutely.
I also get that feeling like he doesn't people he doesn't he's very supportive of you. You're very
Yes.
supportive of him. You have both are working to discover new ways and to grow as a couple and as to help people as you can. Okay. You also got the imprint card, which is instructions, tradition, religion, society, social approval, confirm, forgiveness, bond, mercy, wisdom, and trust. So that's telling me that you have that you give people a chance,
Yes.
okay? But then there's some part of you that I think when people have hurt you, it's hard for you to forgive them. But I'm gonna tell you, I can relate to that as I'm reading you, okay?
Yeah.
Um, what you need to do is just know that don't worry about them. Work on yourself and forgive yourself before you forgive anybody else.
Okay.
So if somebody's hurting you or hurt you in any way, like family members or ex friends, whatever,
Yeah.
forgive yourself and then forgive them. You don't have to go to them and say, you know what, I forgive you. Let them find their way and say, God bless you in your heart, and you just pray for them.
Yeah.
Okay, you just pray
Absolutely.
even to your enemies. Okay, so I feel like you have a lot of wisdom with the Hermit card. The Emperor card showed up. Respect, leadership, temperament, structure, rules, power, authority. Okay, this one's telling me there's a father figure already showing up. Your
Oh,
dad was
definitely
a very
Sean. No.
so that would be very structured. Um, he's very demanding to where he's very protective of you. Um, he's happy that you go through a lot, and he's very protective of you. And as a matter of fact, he guides you into giving you advice and stuff like that. That's what I feel like. He's very protective and a real strong presence around him. Okay. Now you don't have to tell me he's deceased or if he's alive. You don't need to tell me that, but I do feel his energy is very much alive, regardless if he's passed or not. But his energy is very strong. Okay. Um, so you also have the High Priestess, which is, to me, with the High Priestess, you're very intuitive knowledge. Um, I would be very pay attention to your dreams. You have very high morals, and you have some kind of past within you. I feel like you have this natural way of creating things with your hands. I don't know why I'm getting that feeling from you. I feel that if you
I'm very Italian,
tap
so
into your so you have a lot of high frequency that you can create something and make something out of it. Does that
okay.
make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. Um, so what else? Then you got the Emperor's card, abundance, nurturing, good parenting, development, accomplishment, growth, action. So you take things very seriously, and I feel like both of your parents coming. But I feel that you just got a very strong presence to you, and I feel like that you have some kind of gift. It's just that you got to be able to tap into it. And if anybody tells you, you know, that this is not legit, don't pay attention to them because your God brought you here for a reason, just like He has me here to read you tonight. So you do have a purpose. And then if you have any doubts, in anything you do, try to change that. You have a purpose in your life. Um, and for some reason, I don't know why, but I'm empathic. I feel like there's a little bit of sadness, and that's probably because of the trauma or things you've gone through as a child. Not with family, but just with stuff. So I feel that you've been really hard and just really hard to get to trust or anyone to be near you. And for you to be Machan, that's a blessing in itself. I feel that you both intertwined. I also feel too that he was twin flame of yours. Sean is your twin flame.
Aww.
You've reconnected in other lifetimes.
Oh.
You just got to look into it. So just be aware of that. You both were meant to be. Okay. So
He can't hear you,
and
but
that's
I
what I.
know he would absolutely love to hear that.
Okay. So, but other than that, hopefully that makes a lot of sense. And if you have any other questions, that's pretty much what I felt off of you.
Yeah.
Um.
Thank you so
So
much. You are on
you are.
point. Wow.
You've completely hijacked my show here.
I know. I'm sorry. Thank you
You're,
so much, Chris. I
you're
love
welcome.
you. Mwah.
Do my show
Thank
back.
you.
Thank
Do
you.
my show back. Stop blowing
Thank
kisses.
you. Thank you. But no, but just
Coming back, Chris. Give me a
hopefully
minute.
I
Let
know
me
you're
get
fine.
your earwax off my
Fine.
headphones.
Hold on, I can't hear you. I gotta put my headphones in for a second.
He's incredible.
Did it get you on point? I didn't hear none of it.
My hairs are standing up.
Oh, are they? Well, you're Italian. There's a lot of them.
So, but hopefully that makes sense, and tell her if she enjoyed the reading, y'all. Because I like to get feedback, so if she enjoyed it, just let y'all guys let me know, privately or whatever.
Absolutely. I mean, she just ran back upstairs.
Are you there? What happened?
This is what I'm talking about. They come after me, Chris. They kick me right off my own show. The spirits come for me. All right, and then Jacob Reed inbox me. I got a lot.
Oh, I think that's people. Those are scammers. Because I know I've came.
I was about to say this is all like, well, let me see how many of these I can send. So this is how we do
Yeah,
this.
exactly. Mm-hmm.
And then they disappear. You deal with that very
Yep.
easily. So, well, Chris, brother, again, folks, if you want to know what Chris has got going on, I don't, Diane, I have no idea what that means. Mercury in retrograde, it means nothing to me. I don't know these things. But look, folks, if you like what Chris has got going on, again, go check him out on TikTok at Psychic28. Make sure you're giving him a follow and a like. As I always say, if you're finding me through Chris or Chris through me, make sure you take a moment, like and share the show. Go onto Facebook, go onto YouTube, all those different locations. Give us a like and a follow. It may seem very simple to you, but trust me, Chris understands this. That's how this gets known about. That's how Chris's gifts get known about to other people. That's how the whole process grows for all of us. So please take your time and do that for us. Let me talk about next week's guest here. And so I always forget who each of the guests are. So next week is a gentleman named John Malik. John is an intelligence officer, former narcotics investigator, and a podcast host. And I'm going to pick on him because he's in the National Guard, but he's with the New York National Guard, and we are talking about complex problem solving, some of the different landscapes of foreign affairs, just kind of getting into what's going on out in the world next week. So make sure you join us. As always, every show is 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time on a Wednesday. So come join us. Chris, everything behind you keeps moving. I don't know if you're bumping into stuff, but it's shit behind you moving. Never.
I think it's the energy. The energy.
He's moving things around. So make sure you're checking everything out, giving a like and a follow. Chris, we're going to get ready to log off here. Make sure you don't log off. I need to talk to you for half a heartbeat after the show. So don't log off on me. But I know you've binge watched and you already know what. All right, you got something? Go ahead, say it.
But I was going to say that for besides the Psychic 28, if y'all want to reach me, like text me, or if you just don't have a TikTok, reach me at 210-974-3470. Again, 210-974-3470. Just in case you don't have TikTok, you can reach me, but don't reach me right now because I'm busy with Sean. But you can keep that number. We'll talk later. Thank you, Sean.
Absolutely. So I know you've binge watched all the show, and as a psychic, you know what I'm already about to say. So we can just get that out of the way. As always, in every episode, the guest always gets the final word. And don't log off. We got to talk for a moment afterwards, Chris. So what is the final word for tonight's episode?
I guess just to be inspiring and don't give up, and just reach for your dreams. And everybody has unlimited potential. It's all you got to do is just you put the mind to it, believe in yourselves, and of course the man above. Thank the Lord for us being alive and having the show tonight. And thank you for all my guides. And thank you, Sean, for having me on. It was a pleasure as always. See you guys later.
Alrighty, folks, be sure to push your stool in.
This has been a Second Front podcast presentation found on Apple, Spotify, and wherever podcasts can be found.